way to Clarksville, Tennessee, to meet the Rodriguez family. Now, Sergeant Luis Rodriguez has been in the U.S. Army for 15 years. Now, 2 years ago, while serving in Iraq, something happened to him that changed his life forever. Take a look at this tape, and you'll see what I mean.
Hi, ABC with the Rodriguez family.
I'm Louis, the dad.
I'm Lillian, the mom.
I'm Michelle, and I'm 9 years old. I'm Melanie, I'm 6 years old.
So Master Sergeant Luis Rodriguez is what you call a career soldier. He grew up in Puerto Rico, and his dream was to join the U.S. Army.
I like the fact of honor as a way of life, and there's nothing that I'd rather do.
He rose through the ranks being a combat medic, which means he serves his soldiers right there in the field, in the heat of battle.
He's my hero. He is my hero.
Now, along the way, he married his college sweetheart, Lillian, and together they had 2 beautiful daughters, Michelle and Melanie.
This is my girl, and this is where my dad was.
So in 2003, Luis was sent with his unit to Iraq, where he served as a combat medic for 9 months. Then disaster struck.
On the 24th of November of 2003, my convoy was ambushed.
On his way to an Iraqi hospital, the Humvee he was riding in hit a roadside bomb.
The bomb went off about 3 feet away from me.
Luis lost his leg immediately.
It was devastating to see him there because, I mean, he was blown up and didn't have a leg. What was amazing about what he was doing was still trying to lead his soldiers. He was physically trying to lead his soldiers by telling them what to do.
Lost a leg. What's going to happen now? Well, you don't have too many choices.
Everything changed from that point on.
He spent 4 months in an amputee ward. There he underwent 17 operations and eventually learned how to walk again using crutches.
The first time I saw him was in the hospital. I was happy because I was with him and he didn't die.
After his injury, Luis could easily ask for an honorable discharge from the Army, but he refused.
My dad is a hero because he lost his leg in Iraq, but even though he's lost his leg, he didn't quit being in the Army.
Currently, I am the NCOIC, which stands for Non-Commissioned Officer in Charge of the 101st School of Combat Medicine. And what we do is we teach soldiers how to survive in combat.
I would tell you that he is probably one of the top 2 or 3 trainers of soldiers I've ever met.
The main focus for us is to train the medic for the worst case scenario.
The problem is that their really small house isn't fit for a guy who basically has to get around on his crutches.
It's kind of hard for him to be walking all over the house, because the space is small and it's difficult for him to manage around the house when he's in the crutches.
As a soldier, of course, I adapt to things, and just make the best out of it. But yes, it does present problems.
So Luis, he doesn't make a lot of money in the Army. And Lillian, well, she's a full-time student and a mom. These guys are wonderful people, and they want to help others.
We were given a second opportunity to live. If you were skeptical about doing something before, now you want to do it. Because the life is precious and you have to you have to keep going.
So what do you say? Can we make this happen?
Yeah.
Well, get your hands in there, people. Let's get busy! Good morning, Rodriguez family! Luis, Lillian, Michelle, and Melanie, wake up and come on out here! Hey, you guys! What's happening? Hey, we saw your tape, heard your story. How are you? Sorry.
Oh, thank you. Luis is one of these guys who just defies all odds.
He's a strong dude, and he's not the kind of guy that asks for help. Well, no, you guys have been through a lot.
It's been tough. It's not like his leg is going to grow back and everything's going to go back the way it was. You just don't have options. You just have to go. You just have to do things. You just can't stop.
He's a big thinker. He's a guy who did not let this deter him. You can learn a great lesson from this guy.
Sounds like it's been kind of difficult on you, too.
Well, it's not easy, when you see your husband, with something happen and a person who's really active, who do everything by himself, and one day, he's without one leg, and you wonder what is going to be happening next, And thank God he's alive, because other people don't have the same luck, but I'm so grateful that he's here with us, but it's really hard on him, it's hard, it's not easy.
Yeah. Well, we're here to do whatever we can and to try and help you guys' situation, make things a little bit easier.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it.
Well, good.
From the bottom of my heart.
So what do you guys think about all this? You proud of your dad?
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you guys what's going to happen. You guys are actually going somewhere very special. Now, I will tell you about that in a little bit. But first, why don't you show me the house? Design team, we have a week. Get a plan together, okay? Rodriguez family, show me the house. Once Louis came back, well, the home wasn't exactly the same for him anymore because he had changed. So I imagine stairs and doors are probably a problem, huh?
It is a problem, but at the same time, it is a challenge. It's a good challenge, because then I practice my balance coming down.
He's a hero. Doesn't want to admit it. He couldn't give two monkeys about that title, but he is, along with everyone else that goes there. So we're basically here to help him.
Was there a time when you woke up and you looked down and you realized your leg was gone?
And yeah, I took a glance and I looked and I saw the bed sheet going and kind of dipping, you know, and I noticed that it wasn't good. When we got wounded, we were not going to engage the enemy. We were going to help these kids.
He's not a hospital medic. He's not a medic in a hospital. He's actually, Louis actually spends all his time in the field with soldiers, fixing soldiers up and saving lives.
And about 300 meters outside my compound, as we were leaving, a bomb went off about 3 feet away from me. And as soon as that happened, then we came under attack.
Immediately, Louis lost his leg, lost the tips of his finger, and lost hearing in one ear. The other leg full of shrapnel.
And he's still giving out orders, and he's still, like, trying to maintain the focus that you need to get through a situation like that.
The courage to focus on saving lives when your life is in jeopardy is something of uncommon valor.
I got hit, and I felt like somebody put one of those metal buckets over my head and hit me with a baseball bat. I just closed my eyes, man, and I said, God, I just pray and say, let me see my kids and my wife again.
What was that like when you finally saw your wife and your
It
kids?
was,
War is a terrible thing, and Louis is a very proud guy, and his silence speaks volumes.
it's life, man. It's life.
You know, it's going to be a constant struggle, probably for the rest of your years.
It is.
But you do seem like a guy who can stand up to any challenge that's thrown at you. So we're going to do what we can to make life a little bit easier.
Appreciate that, Ty. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. You know, you can barely get through these doorways. You can barely get through where a couch meets a table. You know, he's got to go sideways with his crutches. And at night, even going to the bathroom is an obstacle course.
The fight he'd have to go through to get into the bars, it was nothing short of like an Olympic gymnast.
Normally what I do to get in, I will sit on this ledge right here, and then I just bring this leg over like such.
Sometimes with the soap, anything, you know, he could lose balance and...
I have to use one hand.
Gotcha. You obviously have an artificial leg, but it sounds like it's not working for you because you don't seem to wear it much.
It's painful, and especially it takes a lot in your lower back. It's like a shoe. Sometimes you try the shoe and the shoe doesn't fit right.
It sounds to me like what you need is like a leg that's literally customized for you.
Well, it's still a goal to try to run at least half a mile or a mile if I can. And I think that once I reach that goal and I hit that point where I know I can master that and I'm able to run, I believe that will open doors to do a whole bunch of other things.
If a man in the military loses a leg and re-ups in the military, then you know you're dealing with someone who's going to be pretty steadfast.
Now, I understand you're doing some pretty amazing stuff here at home, too, right? So you're counseling families that have loved ones in the war.
She wants to be a social worker and works with families that are kind of going through the same thing that her and Louis and the kids have gone through.
We as a family, we need our husband, our sons, our daughters. We need them back.
So is it good to have your dad back home?
Yeah.
Was it kind of sad when you found out about what happened to him?
Yeah. A whole bunch. I gave him a card that I said, "You are the best dad ever."
Oh, that's really sweet. What did he do when you gave it to him?
He gave me a big hug. It squished me.